Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chille DeCastro. I'm a journalist who has been jailed in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Clark County Detention Center. Today is April 10th, 2024. We had on docket today to have an appeal hearing in front of the Honorable Judge Levitt at the district court, and last night at some point Judge Levitt entered into the record that she was going to appeal. She was going to deny the appeal to the appeal bond. And so now we will see the Honorable Judge Levitt again on July 10th. It's already on docket. So now we're going to appeal this case where I was convicted for obstruction and resisting. And as you guys know, Brian from Here's the Deal did a really good breakdown on Wilson versus the First Judicial Court of Nevada, where obstruction is a physical act. So we have an appeal. Our appeal brief is due May 6th, and then the prosecutor gets a chance to reply to the appeal brief by June 5th, and then we get a chance to rebuttal that again on June 19th, and then we get heard again in front of the Honorable Judge Levitt on July 10th. So that's the actual program right now. And as you guys know, I told you that from now on, for the rest of my life, I will treat the court with reverence, and I will treat the court with deference. And so I don't agree with Judge Levitt not hearing the appeal hearing today, but that's the decision that the court made. And true to my word, as you guys know, once I give my word, I'm going to keep it. And so while I don't agree with Judge Levitt's decision not to hear the appeal for the appeal, at the same time, that's the decision that the judge made. And so we have to continue to show deference to the court. The court has the power, and we don't. And the system, we may not agree with it. However, we must work within that system. And of course, you guys know that my feelings, my heart, my stomach, my head, knowing that I'll be in here until July 10th, I have feelings. But once you give your word, if you can't keep your word, like I gave my word that I would always treat the court with deference, then I can't believe anything you say. So, to the Honorable Judge Levitt, if she ever hears this, which I do believe that judges watch YouTube, I do believe judges watch any coverage of them. I think that that's true. To the Honorable Judge Levitt, I don't know why you didn't appeal the hearing, but you didn't hear the appeal case, but at the same time, that's her decision, and that's the decision she made, and unfortunately, I don't agree with it, but we have to respect whatever decision that she made, and we just have to move forward. I couldn't get a lot of phone calls out yesterday. I was just day, not locked down in the hole. I was locked down to my bed a lot of the day because when people get meds in here or anything like that, you have to go to your bed. So one person getting medication needs that the other, however many 70 or 80 guys or 60, however many guys are in here, we have to go sit on our bunk. And we had a lot of those yesterday where we were sitting on our bunk waiting for other people to finish what they were doing at the front door. As soon as the front door opens, everybody has to go to their bunk. So that's how it works. It's just the way the system works. And I'm living within the system. This is not a third-party call. This is not a live stream call. This is just my journalistic report that I give every day for content, for journalism, and that's all I'm doing here today. And so, I'll let Brian ask me any questions. I know that there's a lot of you guys who are disappointed, but let me just say this: we don't stop. We don't quit. We don't ever stop. We are agents of change, and this hurts. Listen, I have cried 1,000 tears. I can't cry. We can't cry about it. We have to realize that I'm here till July 10th, so this is April 10th, May, June, July. That's 90 days. So I'll be in jail for 90 more days, and there's nothing I can do about that, and there's nothing you can do about it either. So just remember who we are, and just so you guys know, please do not contact the Honorable Judge Levitt. I'm not sure how she says her name, but please don't contact her. It doesn't help. And anybody who is contacting the judge or the district attorney or the correction officers here, they're not doing that on my behalf. Nobody contacts the judge or DA or prison guards or jail guards and says negative, disparaging things and says, "Oh, I'm on team delete Lawz." No, they're not. Those are people who are trying to put a wrench in the gears of my life and trying to hurt me and trying to hurt Team DLV's reputation, because we are a nonviolent group who presses our right through the First Amendment, through speech, petition, press, and the right to assemble. So that's what we're doing, and that's what I'm doing here. And I'm not going to put my chin into the dirt and cry a river. This is what I have. Remember, and Judge Zimmerman is a very smart woman. She knew that if she sentenced me to a year in jail, that I would probably be out by July 10th. Because once we show the case on appeal, we should win on the merits of the case, and it's just about the merits of the case. It's not about the behavior I exhibited in court. It's not about my YouTube channel. It's about whether or not I obstructed and whether or not I resisted. And I got off the phone with Chris Warren today, and he says, if we're just going by the merits, we're going to slam dunk this, and you should be out July 10th. So I went over everything. I talked about Wilson versus the First Judicial Court. I talked about how they have to give me due notice that I have to back up 21 feet, which he never gave me. I talked about submitting my video, which says the 2015 case of Rodriguez versus United States, you cannot extend a traffic stop for another person unless there's reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime. And I didn't get to talk about that in court because my lawyer had not submitted that into evidence.
What does Chris Orem say about the Wilson case? Have you talked to him about that?
Yeah, he said he's going to cite it. He said he's going to cite it in the appeal brief that is due on May 6th.
So he did take a look at it, and he views it as legitimate in applying to this case?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
100%. And so does his legal assistant, Tyler. We've talked about Wilson versus First Judicial Court of Nevada on 3 different phone calls, and that was found by Brian from Here's the Deal. He did that research, and he found that case. My lawyer originally, Michael Nee, should have had it, but just, talking to Chris Orem, there should have been the case should have been dismissed before we ever went to trial. And so there should have been a First Amendment brief filed immediately. There should have been so many things done. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know all the legalese steps, but Chris Orem said he would have had this case dismissed before we even stepped inside of the pre-conference trial.
I can understand people being ignorant of certain cases, but when it's your job, like Michael Mee's job, and I'm not saying anything negative against him, but it just seems like, hey, you had one job, you should have done it. And if Judge Zimmerman is actually listening to this broadcast, you would think that she would look at that and go, you know what? Wow, that really ties my hands. Let's free that guy. But it doesn't happen. Why is that?
Well, so obviously I've said what I've said about Zimmerman, and remember, she's Team Blue. She probably has the blue stripe flag on her bumper sticker. She probably has a blue stripe flag in her vicinity, and I'm on Team Liberty, Team Freedom, Team DLZ, Team Journalism, and so we come from 2 different teams. That over there is the blue stripe team, and we are the Liberty team. So when you can get the captain of one of the other teams and put him on the bench, that's what she did. That's exactly what Zimmerman did. I'm one of the leaders of this movement for freedom, liberty, and justice and respecting our rights. And Zimmerman had the chance to put me in jail, and I gave her more of that opportunity with my ill-suited behavior. And so she had the chance to take out one of the leaders of the team. And so she did. She did exactly what she did. And she's a very smart woman, like I said. She didn't put me in jail for a year, which she could have. She put me in jail for 6 months, knowing that it would take at least 3 or 4 months before my appeal would go through. So, I don't know how she sleeps at night either, knowing she put me in the dungeon. But at the same time, remember, I don't like cops. That's not a secret. I don't like police. They've railroaded me in my life. They cheated me. I see them cheat and railroad people every day, so I don't like them. But being put in this jail and the policies and procedures that the jail does, these guys in here are not malicious, I'm sure there are, but I haven't had any of those yet. They're not over-the-top, power-hungry, trying to beat me up. They don't do the same thing the cops do on the streets. So we see what cops do on the streets, and then you hate the cop. Well, in here you realize that the jail guards are following a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols that are put in place by the state legislature. So my focus has shifted a little bit here, where we have to change the legislation. Like I say, you are my prisoner, turn around and put your hands behind your back. That's legislation at the cop level. If we got rid of that, where you just had to put a strap on the wrist that had an Apple AirTag on it, that would make it so that people don't have to be shackled up. That again goes to Terry versus Ohio, officer safety. So I don't know how Zimmerman sleeps either, Brian. I don't know how she justifies her behavior and her actions, other than if you just put it in the sense of a football team or a wrestling team or a rugby team, you can knock out one of the leaders of the other team. Would you do it? You want to win the game, right? Of course you would. And so that's what I think Zimmerman did. Now, is the Honorable Judge Leavitt going to give us a fair and impartial hearing on July 10th? I certainly hope she does. The appeal on July 10th. I certainly hope she does. And I will continue to show deference, and I will speak respectfully about the court and hope that we find justice here. But I'm not going to cry. I've already cried. I've already gone through all my breakdowns. I've already gone through highs and lows. You guys donating money to my GoFundMe. Brian can tell you broke me down in tears on the phone. And it's still hard. It's still hard to accept that I have to ask for help, that I have to, it's hard for me because I'm very aggressive and I get things done on my own. And so to be in this helpless position where Brian and other people in the First Amendment community are actually starting to coalesce and come together and say, this is wrong, to me, there's a bigger victory here at the end of the day. If we can unify, really, and honestly create a First Amendment community that we all stand united behind each other in regards to our rights and our First Amendment, and we let the egos and bygones to the side, then there's a bigger victory here at the end of the day if we're able to meld together in a bigger way. So, do you have any questions, Brian?
No, that's pretty much it, man. I hate that you're having to go through this.
I have to go through it for 90 more days, and that means 90 more days means that I can never have a bad moment. I cannot wake up and be on the wrong side of the bed. If the guard tells me to do this, I have to say yes, sir. And now I've just taken it to the extreme. I've taken it to the military extreme. Sir, yes, sir. There's just going to be no way in hell that the folks inside of here could say I didn't follow the rules. Not only do I follow the rules to a T with respect, and that's the other thing that I learned, as I laid in this bed for all these hours every day. Robert Shapiro, when he represented me in 2002, and we beat 5 felony charges, which were bogus, and I've written extensively about it now, he showed respect and deference to every single person in the court, from the court clerk to the reporter to the guard to the bailiff to the judge to the district attorney. I just remember how sweet he was, and I didn't do that. And so now I'm going to mimic what Robert Shapiro did when he represented me in 2002, and I'm going to do exactly as he did. I'm going to be the nicest guy in the whole wide world. Matter of fact, even when I speak to people from now on, I'm going to think in my head, reply nicely, do it nicely. Even when I audit cops, I'll tell them, I'll say, sir, please don't give me directives. If you could, that would be great, because I'm only invoking my First Amendment right here. I'm not here to try to get myself arrested. I'm here to just film this interaction. I can still do what I do intensely. I can still do what I do without giving up my footing. But at the same time, I can be nice. Just like in Roadhouse. Remember Bill Patrick Swayze movie? I don't care what you do, but be nice. And then apply that to what Shapiro did in court. He was nice. And then apply that to what I didn't do in court. I wasn't nice, and now I'm in a freaking dungeon. And then the Honorable Judge Leavitt, she may have seen that case, and she got thousands of emails from people, thousands. And so she got thousands of emails, and half of them were hatred, and half of them were love. And so, I'm sure that she's a person, she was affected by that. And so, it is what it is.